Hello, this is Josh Mills. Today I'm here with Elizabeth Heverin from Priestley College. I'm going to ask you about your religious and political views. Thanks for being the second guest on the show.
So let's get right into the news.
Yes.
I had to, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We needed some sort of kind of meme-y thing to start it off with.
It's dead meme.
Anyway, are you religious?
Am I religious? I haven't been baptised, so I guess you could argue that I'm not officially Christian, but I would classify myself as Christian. I share in their values, their traditions, and although I haven't been brought up in a religious family, I think Christianity is a good way to live life.
So would you say that you were immediately Christian, but through life experiences and things like that, you've chosen to be a Christian?
Yeah, it's a choice, not like something that was forced upon me. I felt like as a kid, atheism was forced upon me, with my mum telling me that God's not real and it's all a story.
I think it should all be about what you think yourself, and we shouldn't be taught to think a certain way. So, what side of Christianity do you favour?
Honestly, I'm in between. I think I see the positives and negatives of both sides. But if you're going to follow the Bible from word to word of what God has said, then I think Catholicism is the best choice. For example, you can't just twist the Bible to what suits you or what suits your lifestyle, because that's just making the Bible into something that benefits you, not what it's supposed to be. It's twisting it.
My fault. I'm very new to this interview. Anyway, do you think Christianity should be taught in schools?
I do. I think religious studies is an important subject, because when we have religious studies, we're not just focusing on Christianity, we're focusing on all aspects of a religion, and we can get more of an understanding from it. So, for example, by learning about Jews and Islam, we have more of an understanding that those two religions and Christianity focus on the same God. The gods in all of those religions are the same God.
Who has influenced your political and religious beliefs?
Honestly, religious is Ben Shapiro. He's a good debater. If you look up him on Urban Dictionary, it basically says he roasts libtards. He's very famous on the internet for absolutely destroying people in debates, and he's very knowledgeable on what he's talking about, and that's someone I want to who influences me, and I look up to. Religious, I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but Far Cry 5, and you're probably laughing hearing this, but although it's a game, I feel like if you play the ending of Far Cry 5, you'll understand what I mean. I feel like by playing Far Cry 5, I realised that Christianity is important to life. It's important in belief, and some of the things said in the Bible are actually logical and make sense, although many could argue against that.
I think that many kind of media products and things we consume do influence us, and I think it doesn't really necessarily matter what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like some of the viewers who are hearing me saying that the Bible is logical are probably going to bring up that about God making the world in 7 days, but if you look at the Bible as one big extended metaphor, then a lot of it does make sense. So, like, 7 days could mean 7 million years or billion.
Yeah, I think a lot of it can be about logic, but also some people would say interpretation.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a better life to live being religious than being atheist. I feel like there's a lot of morals and good from being religious, although you can still be a good person and be atheist. However, being religious, it's concrete.
Yeah. I understand that. I am an atheist, but I do like the idea of concrete guidance that you can follow. What political party do you support?
Honestly, I was leaning UKIP a while back, and I still think it's a good party with Nigel Farage. However, since they don't really have a stable leader, it is kind of falling apart. But I also kind of lean towards Conservatives, and I think there's a lot of good Conservative MPs like Boris Johnson, Jacob Rees-Mogg. However, with Theresa May as Prime Minister, I don't really particularly like the party, as it's leaning too left than what it's supposed to stand for. And Theresa May is a terrible leader who doesn't understand that she's bad at negotiating.
Did you think David Cameron leaving his position was cowardly?
No, I think that's the right thing he did. You see, the thing is, he wanted to stay in the EU, and he knew he wasn't going to be good at negotiating if we wanted to leave. So him backing down is basically him making the right decision for the people of Britain. But sadly, Theresa May took over, and she's a terrible negotiator. Obviously, she wanted to stay, and she takes so much pride in herself and about being a leader that she doesn't understand that by her being a leader isn't the best for the country, and she's too selfish in her ways to give up.
Do you feel that people who support UKIP get automatically labelled as racist?
Yeah, exactly. They do. And if you look into UKIP, or if you take time and look into their manifesto, then you realise they're not actually racist. I mean, Nigel Farage himself, he wasn't racist, and he got labelled all these things. Wanting better border security isn't racist, it's wanting the best for your country. I mean, for example, saying that we should have lesser immigrants isn't racist if you look at it economically, I can't speak, that more immigrants that enter the country, prices go up for houses, and that makes it harder for people who are British citizens in their own country.
So I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it was talking about how some far-right leaders have leaked tweets and Facebook things from left-wing people's past. Do you agree with that technique, or do you feel...
Oh, yeah. So, for example, when people leak past comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so, for example, this happened to Ben Shapiro. Basically, I think he said something that was taken out of context and was used against him. And I think it's quite stupid to bring back comments from your past, because as we move forward, we become new people. Like for example, a lot of young people are Labour, and when they get older, they become more conservative, because their values change. Every day, every month, every year, we are becoming someone new from our past selves. To bring a comment or an action from someone who years ago was a different person is quite a stupid tactic.
They were also talking about a producer called Dan Harmon and the things he said on his Twitter, and it was quite offensive. But it's also the kind of feeling of the time, isn't it? That now things wouldn't be as acceptable, but then it was more of it was okay.
I mean, like, as young kids, we've said stupid things to try and be edgy and funny. I don't exactly know what you said, so I can't comment on it. But we all say stupid things, but to hold that against us from who we've become now is pretty pathetic.
Do you feel that people who support Labour are always associated with communism?
I think it's a running joke that they're associated with communism. For example, it's a running joke that being a socialist equals communism. I don't think anyone actually takes it seriously. But unlike UKIP with being labelled racist, because that's serious, people actually think they're racist. There was this kid who got a detention in his school for just saying that he didn't think UKIP was a bad party.
Yeah.
But with Labour, I feel like although Jeremy Corbyn himself does share quite what you could associate with communist values, it's a running joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jamie before, and he was trying to guess what your answer would be due to your political views.
Honestly, I just call people communists as a joke.
So, what's your opinion on Brexit?
I think we should have left, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I think that for our country's best intentions, it was right to leave. We need better border security. I feel like Tony Blair ruined EU by changing their policies on immigration. I feel like we need to make better trade deals on other countries that we had previously before the EU. For example, we had great trade deals with Australia, and when we joined the EU, it stopped that. When people keep saying that we're not going to have as good as trade deals with Denmark, for example, we are still going to have good trade deals, but it's going to be with countries like Canada, Australia, America.
Yeah.
So we're basically reclaiming the glory we once had as an independent nation.
Do you feel that people working in the NHS, many who've moved from abroad, are going to feel more scared to try and work in Britain?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But I feel like they shouldn't be scared. I feel like they're not going to lose their jobs in this country.
Yeah.
They've got that job, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't really comment on it.
Okay. Is the Old Testament... in the Old Testament, what is the worst sin to break?
Honestly, I think the worst sin to break in the Old Testament is the things that we class as immoral today. For example, murder, stealing, rape, adultery. Things like dishonouring your parents, I don't really think that's the worst sin to break. I think that's more of,
It depends what...
taking God's name in vain.
Yeah, well, it depends what kind of... what your parents do. If they're trying to help you in a good direction, then arguably I could understand, but it kind of depends on what they are asking you to do.
Yeah.
Do you think the media is biased?
Definitely, absolutely. If you look at Zimbabwe in Africa, there's a lot of white farmers who are terrorized. They are raped. They have been people have broken into their houses and stolen stuff from them. They've been tortured. There've been cases of them being killed, and it is against white farmers. It's because of their skin colour, and the media doesn't bring this up. This is barely spoken about because it doesn't fit the media's ideology. It's portraying white people as the victim, and the media, in most cases, portrays white people as this supremacist out to get everyone. But if you look at the white farmers in Zimbabwe, Australia is literally taking them in as refugees because it's that bad. And I as a person watching the news, this barely gets spoken about.
In the BBC Charter, they say they're trying to be completely neutral. Do you agree that they're following their terms in the Charter about being neutral?
No, the BBC is left-wing. I mean, they're really politically correct. I mean, if you look back a few years ago, I think it was BBC Social or something, they were literally saying there's more than two genders, and the way they put it was really illogical and didn't make sense. And I think I remember watching the news a few weeks ago, and there was this case of I think it was like over 30 men, and they didn't care to say that they were Muslim. Yeah. Now I'm not saying this hate on Muslims, not saying all Muslims are out to groom young children, right? Yeah. But literally, them showing the photo, all these men, as they put it, were Muslims. Literally, they were Muslim.
Yeah.
But they won't say that because of political correctness.
So, do you respect other people's views?
Honestly, yeah, I'm a big activist for freedom of speech. I think everyone should be entitled to their opinion. And if they wasn't, then we don't have room for debate. Debating, to me, is quite important. You get to see the other person's opinion as well as expressing yours. And yeah, I feel like our country is leaning too left. There's this case of this person called Laura Sutherland, who was banned from coming into Britain because she said something offensive about Islam. She's right wing. She doesn't express violence. She's not a radicalist, to be honest. But whilst this is happening, our country is letting in people who are raping people, who are starting groom gangs, people who are using human trafficking in our country. But Britain, instead of banning them, bans people who have a different opinion to the country.
Do you think immigrants should be prioritised on a basis of urgency? So, for example, if they're in a war zone, those immigrants should be taken through the border first.
Honestly, I know there's not going to be a lot of people who agree with me on this, and it's just my personal opinion. I'm not really a big person for financial aid. I mean, if you want to start your own charity, then that's great, and that's something you should be proud of. But making it a government priority to fund other countries who don't benefit us at all, and to let in loads of refugees, is quite pathetic. It should be a charity thing, not a government thing. Our tax-paying money should go into our country and nowhere else.
Recently I watched the news, and there was a news story with a gay rights advocate who wanted a message that advocated gay rights on a cake in a Christian bakery. The man was refused because of the message on the cake. Do you agree with this?
This is an attack on Christianity, honestly. I mean, this guy could have gone to any other bakery. There's probably loads of bakeries in Belfast which are atheists. He could have gone to a Muslim bakery, which I guarantee they would refuse him, but he didn't. He went to a Christian bakery. He knew that that Belfast is Catholic and Halford Protestant, but there is a lot of Catholics in Belfast, and Catholics follow the word of the Bible, and the Bible says that there shall not be gay marriage. He knew that, and he went to a Christian bakery and asked them to bake something that went against their views. It's like going into a Jewish bakery and asking them to bake you a cake with the SWAT sticker on saying "gas to Jews." Also, if this man did get prosecuted for it, and the Supreme Court decided that he was guilty, this would be an attack on freedom of speech and freedom of private businesses. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this guy knew that this bakery was Christian and it was going to refuse him. I felt like it was planned, and it's an attack on Christians.
It turned out that there was the first court hearing, and the baker was convicted guilty. But then the Supreme Court, this charge was taken away.
Yeah, I remember hearing this on the radio.
Yeah.
There's actually a similar case before this in America where the same thing happened. Oh, right. So I felt this guy was inspired by that case to attack bakers in Belfast, which again is Christian.
I think it's. I understand your view, but I also think there's kind of different angles you can see it from. It turned out that he was a regular customer from that bakery. But I do feel like it may have been just easier just to go to a different bakery, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. You never hear about leftists going to Muslim bakeries and asking them to bake you a gay cake, because 99% of the time they refuse to bake you a gay cake, right? There's been a guy who does a video about him going to Muslim bakeries, and every one of those Muslim bakeries refused him. But since the left likes to stick up for Islam, they rarely target them, unlike Christianity. Yeah.
Do you think Trump is what many people make him out to be?
No, he's not what many people make out to be. Everyone focuses on what he's said or his past or the jokes he makes, which are fair enough, but when we're looking at the president, we're looking at what he's doing to benefit the country, and what he's done to benefit the country is quite good. He's made employment go up, he's cut taxes, he's done a far better job than Obama did. The only thing Obama had to show off was Obamacare, and he thought great speeches led to great success. But with Trump, for example, he's not so good at speeches, but he's a good example on that. Even the most controversial people can help make a country better.
Before you go, can I try out a new radio feature of you? The name of the feature needs some suggestions. But what is recording a radio jingle for each guest that goes onto the show.
What?
So, could you say Priestley Radio?
Sorry, just drinking some water. Priestley Radio.
Then interviews, music, and more.
Wait, what?
And just say this is the slogan: Interviews, music and more.
Interviews, music and more.
A.
What?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be good to say A at the end.
Anyways, before we go, I like to have a cheeky self promote. Follow me on Instagram, Elizabeth_Heverin_. How you spell my surname is HEVERIN. Remember underscore. So please follow. Otherwise
It will
I'll hike up
increase.
for a penguin.
Okay, that's getting really controversial now. So, what did you think of this interview? And do you agree with Elizabeth's views? Message me on Instagram at JMPriestleyRadio or email at, right, get your pens and papers ready, JM05249300 at priestley.ac.uk.
And signing off.
Yeah, peace out.